Hey everybody, you're listening to Sit Down with Stand-Ups. I'm Ari Azizian, and my guest this week is a very funny comedian. He started out doing stand-up in San Francisco. He's been on Live from Gotham, and he's a regular opener for Lisa Lampanelli and Bill Burr. His comedy album is called Salute, Salute with an exclamation mark at the end, and it's available on iTunes. Download it. It's really, really funny. And he also has this great book that I just read. It's called You Might Be a Douchebag, and you can download it on your Nook or your Kindle. I got it on my Kindle, and it's fully illustrated. It's hilarious. And for you hockey fans out there, or people who don't know anything about hockey like me, he's got a great podcast called Puck Off. And I almost said the other thing, but it's called Puck Off. And look it up on YouTube, download it on iTunes. It's with Fraser Smith, who's also a great comedian. And it's just hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. And he's got another podcast called Insensitivity Training, which is great too. I love that one. It's so funny. Here's my conversation with the very funny Joe Bartnick. I love these posters too, by the way, B.B. King and...
Yeah, thanks. I got one, the one I really love the most, well, except for like the one I'm on. The one I love the most is John Lee Hooker, but the...
Did you get to see him perform?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I got it signed by everybody but him, with the opening act, the artist, but he was like leaving him, my boss, because I worked at the Fillmore. He was like, don't bother him anymore. And I'm like, I should have just been like, fuck you, it's John Lee Hooker, but I was so broke. Are you recording this?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. It's a good story. Yeah. But I was so broke, like I couldn't afford to lose the job.
Yeah.
So I had to listen to him. But yeah, it's my favorite one. But it used to be in a real.
Guy at the Fillmore, or?
I was a paid usher.
Usher. Okay, cool. So
yeah.
You've seen like a bunch of great acts there.
Oh yeah, I saw everybody. I mean, like I've worked in bars and security my whole life, so, and working for Bill Graham, I just saw everybody. Wow. And now after I moved to LA, it's like I think I've paid to see like maybe 5 bands. It's like it costs how much? Yeah. It's like it's unbelievable, like how much music costs nowadays.
That's amazing. What years were these? Like
early
90s.
Well, no, 95 or 96 to. Basically, until I moved down here because
Hooker died like what, 98 or something like that.
Bill himself died like in 94. Like I just started working for the company when Bill was there.
That's awesome.
Like he died literally like then. Like he literally like I was like I mean I never even met him. Right. We were like, oh, Bill was here last night. He drinks his tea in the corner of the Punchline. And then like from I started working at the Punchline for maybe a month or two, and then I started working at the Fillmore in the Warfield.
Wow, that's so cool. Any other like amazing acts that you saw while you were working there?
Yeah, I mean, I saw everybody. It was just an amazing time. Like, I mean, some of the bands that stick out were the Morphine.
Okay.
Morphine had such a bass line that they had one of those old printers in the office upstairs at the Warfield. It's like the size of my kitchen table. It was like a printer, yeah. And the thing was moving. And my old great boss, who was around for everybody forever, he's like, "Come here, you got to see this." And he goes, and the thing was moving because the bass was so. Yeah, I had a cush job.
It just turned into a Richter scale instead of a printer.
Yeah, I got a really cush job because one of my great friends ever, Tina Crotwell, was in charge. She was queen of the ushers forever. Wow. So I started working for her at the Punchline, and she's like, "Oh, you didn't come do this?" So my whole job was I'd sit in the office, and for like the first 4 or 5 songs, I mean, from the time it opened, the doors opened until like the first 4 or 5 songs, and I would just. Wait a sec. Or did I do the whole show? No, because some shows I did stay the whole show.
Right.
But I could always go out and watch whatever I wanted, just get someone to cover for me.
And you could hear like the whole
thing.
You
could hear the whole show. But I would just be the determination of it involve the boss or not.
Right.
Like, oh, I lost my purse. Well, okay, there's a lost and found. Or like, oh, I fell down the stairs. Well, you seem okay.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Like, okay, then you're
Just pass
okay.
them on, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the chillest
yeah,
job.
stuff like that,
So
Or
cool.
like, I didn't get a poster. Like, really? Well, hold on, let's see if we have like one left or
Right.
somewhere. Like, just all the or it's like someone comes in and goes like, where's Bates or where's Dave Rep? Like, oh, he's upstairs because like before cell phones and we didn't have walkie talkies in those days and stuff. So it was just like, where's Rep? Oh, he's upstairs.
And you just go and
yeah.
you don't have
Well,
to
when
worry
you
about
see him, tell him we got someone fell down the stairs or there's a brawl or whatever. And it's funny because I don't think I'm talking out of school. If I'm talking out of school, who cares? The other thing like Dave Rep would do is he would come. Like I had all the tickets. So like once a show, he would just come through and grab a bunch of tickets and throw them in the garbage can. So if like the Black Crowes tour manager or whatever would come and say like, we sold out, right? No, count the tickets. You're not getting your sellout bonus. Which now that I've been headlining comedy shows, now I'm like, now I know like count heads and like I'll count heads
really
and then have the middle count heads and then have the opener. What do you think? And ask 5 waitresses. Is it sold out? I want it on tape, because of stuff like that. But yeah, it was but Morphine was one of the band. The Mighty Mighty Boss Tones were amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I just interviewed actually Dave Wakeling from the English Beat.
Okay, I know who they are.
Like ska,
okay, yeah. I mean, they were like
Boss Tones are amazing though.
They were amazing. The other great thing one of the other things that probably like my most sticking memory that was really cool was Carl Perkins.
Oh no way.
Tom Petty flew him up to play Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh my god.
When Tom Petty did like that 15 show run or 20 show run or whatever it was. Yeah, he came up, and because I love Tina so much, she's like my big sister, and she couldn't get anyone to work on Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm like, I didn't really care who won. It was Patriots, Green Bay. It was the Favre one.
And I'm like, Pittsburgh, right? So
I'm from
Steelers.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'll do it. It's like you've done me so many favors, and literally it was like, and he's like, hey, I want to bring somebody out here. And they played like blue suede shoes and all kinds of stuff. And then he died like 2 weeks later.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's one of the things.
Blue suede shoes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, he played blue suede shoes and he played another. He played like 2 songs. One Elvis, and then his blue suede shoes is his song. I mean, Elvis played it, but and for kids who don't know, I mean, there was a time when Carl Perkins he'd never be Elvis because no one's Elvis. But he was like real close to being Elvis,
totally.
like close, like Beatles, Stones kind of thing. But he
had the chops, like the guitar chops. He had the writing ability, which Elvis didn't write a single song. But Elvis had the showmanship.
There's only one king.
Over the top, yeah.
But literally, his driver got drunk and he ran off a road in driving to New York to do Ed Sullivan. They ran off the road.
Jesus.
And he ended up being in a hospital for a year, just in a cast in the 50s. You're in a Fred Flintstone cast.
Yeah, I know, right? Isn't that weird? That happened to everybody. Dylan got a motorcycle accident, Bobby Darin car accident. That was just the thing in the 50s.
Yeah,
you couldn't get to the gig. You just drove off the road or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been doing comedy so long that for a while before I kind of got locked into working with Lisa Lampanelli, I thought I was going to die on a 2-lane road. Because I just drove from here to Texas to Wyoming.
Were you opening for her?
Yeah. I haven't done it in 2015, but for the last 7 years, I pretty much opened a majority of her shows.
What's that like being on the road that much?
With her, it was amazing because we flew everywhere, did a different city every night, and played to 3,000 seat places and stayed in the best hotels on earth.
Wow.
And touring with Bill Burr or Hedberg was amazing, and did some with
David. You toured with Miss Hedberg too?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that's
I
so
did.
cool.
I did a couple different weeks. He flew me to weeks in Tennessee and stuff like that. So that was great.
That's right.
But anytime you play a theater with I played with David Tell, some big theaters, Lewis Black. Anytime you do a theater show, it's amazing.
Do you like the theater more than a club or any preference kind of?
Well, yeah, I
Because
mean,
it's vastly different, right? If I had to
it is.
guess.
Well, the pacing's a little different. If you're playing like, I mean, you can see like I'm a big dude. I go big.
Yeah.
So sometimes like I'll go big at the Hollywood Improv and there'll be like 13 people there. Be like, why are you going this big on a Tuesday? Well, now it's changed. Now it's the club's doing good. So, but when I first moved here, it'd be like there'd be some dead weeknights in there.
Yeah.
Or anywhere, to be honest with you, not to pick on the Improv, but anywhere.
I still go to like Improv and Comedy Store like on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and there's like 6 of us. Like,
Right. But I mean, I guess when I first moved here, though, I had only done a few theaters with like a tell. But then after I was on some TV shows and stuff, and I got to open for Lisa everywhere. After like being with her for so long, I got used to just being on huge stages. So I'm just projecting huge and my mantra time was like, you're better in front of 3,000 people than 20 people. And I'm like, well, isn't everybody? And he's like, no, it's an art. Not an art, but
totally.
I go big. So
yeah, because the timing you mentioned is different, right? Like the laughter comes in a little bit.
Yeah, you
slower
have
in
to
the
give them
theater.
a second to hear it and laugh at it. Especially a lot of places like the Nouveau Indian casinos and some of the newer theaters, they have screens.
Oh wow.
So you're literally like, and people are sheep.
Yeah.
They're like they'll be just as far away from you as the screen, but they're watching it on the screen.
Right.
And you just have to every now and then, I tell people who open for me if I'm middling in those situations because I'm not headlining those situations. Just like I think any tips or anything, I go, dude, just wait a second.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
they're gonna laugh. They just have to watch it first.
That's so bizarre to have a giant TV. I feel like for comedy, but it's so interesting.
Yeah, the first couple of times it's just so like ridiculously awesome. I mean, it still is. It never gets old.
That's awesome.
But the first couple of times you almost get mesmerized. Like you're like, what? What? The other one, it's like I was a total rookie mistake, and I learned from Bill was there's a theater in Arizona called the Celebrity Theater, which is awesome, but it spins.
Yeah, I heard about the spinning one.
Yeah, it
it's like in
spins.
Phoenix or something.
And we just got destroyed in Seattle. So I was a little bit like, I know when the sun goes down, there's no excuses. Like, you're ready for that. But I was a little bit like shook up anyway, a little bit like, oh. Because it was actually me and I opened for Bill in Seattle. Then we, like, three doors down, literally three blocks over, Chappelle was playing.
Oh my god!
So then
Same night?
so we went there. I was with Bill, and then it was awesome. And then we went and saw Chappelle, hung out with him and the great Jeff Wills, who now is like the king of Clear Channel or Live Nation. He used to book the Punchline,
Oh my
so he gave me my start. So we were all hanging out, just getting annihilated. Anyway, long story short,
Those are all SF guys, too, yeah.
when you're in the middle, you have to, or when you're in the middle and it spins, you have to stay in the middle of the circle. It's much easier.
Oh, it's a slower rotation.
You don't get like whatever is dizzy as you do if you're out in the main.
Oh my god!
Or like out on the edges of it. And the thing is that what messes you up was they have screens up, like the same thing, screens for people to see, but they're all from different angles. So then if it catches your eye, it's like one's looking at you, one's looking behind. Like
And it's just moving constantly.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
And like I was a little bit like not.
Is it fast or is it kind of slow? Like
It's slow.
yeah, it's just like
but it moves.
yeah.
And you're in the middle anyway. I don't know if you've ever done comedy in the middle, but it's a little bit weird to always have someone at your back and you're running the.
Yeah, how do you
So-
even like? Do you just gotta keep? Like,
Yeah,
moving
keep
around?
walking. Well, yes, you do. So I'm in front of X amount of people, and they just want to see Bill. They don't give a shit about me. So I'm already kind of out there, like going because I just learned from Lisa. That's why theaters I can just do because I know how to just. And then you're in the theater, it's like bam, you
Right.
go out, you punch them right in the face, and then you never let them up.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool.
I mean, I learned after I'd say the first 3 years I was always just like greatest hits the whole time. Then I learned like if I'm doing a half hour, I got like 5 minutes to like, I can put some new stuff in or whatever because I know the haymakers at the like.
Right.
But
And,
the
like,
last
improvises.
like Lisa's boyfriend, then fiance, then husband, and now ex-husband. He used to be able to do my act like He knew. Okay, here it goes. Like the last 10 minutes were
Yeah.
always just like, here's the last 10 minutes. So whatever happened before that was like, here you go. And probably half the people in San Francisco can do my last 10 minutes, or whoever's listening. Everyone knows it in those days. But.
Well, you grew up in Pittsburgh, and then did you move to San Francisco to do comedy, or did you start doing comedy in Pittsburgh as well?
No, I didn't start comedy in Pittsburgh. I'm a little bit older than you, so when I was in Pittsburgh, like you want to do comedy, what are you in a coffee shop? What are you, queer? We got coffee right here. Where are you going to? You're not gonna have what are you
What
doing?
all the jokes for? Yeah.
Yeah, you're coming to the bar, right? No, we go to a coffee shop for. What are you? So I purposely moved to San Francisco to start comedy.
And how old were you when you?
How old was I? Well, how old was I when I started comedy? I was like 26, 27.
Was it something that you always like knew you
Yeah.
wanted to do? Yeah.
Yeah, I just yeah.
That's so cool. Who are some like the people that you really liked? Like
When well, Dennis Miller lived like 2 train stops away from me.
no way.
Not train, like subway train
Yeah.
stop. So yeah, my mother knew his mother.
Wow.
My mother worked at the medical center that his mother used to go to. So when he was like crazy long haired on Saturday Night Live, like that was awesome. Eddie Murphy Delirious. I say this in almost every time people ask me. I think 75% of the people that do comedy that are my age, it's because of Eddie Murphy Delirious. Like
That
the
was
red
for
suit.
me too. But even though I'm younger, I just got it on
Yeah.
DVD when I was a kid. And I
The
thought it was
red
amazing.
suit changed everything. It was
Oh.
like it was for us. It was like when the Beatles are on Ed Sullivan.
He's like Elvis.
Yeah,
Like totally.
But it's like like everyone the next like at school knew every
about
bit.
it.
It was like people said they knew like the Beatles. It was like
So-
because before that, like before the Beatles, whatever, it was Elvis, but it was like not like long haired the band.
Right.
Before Eddie Murphy was like every guy was in a suit on Johnny Carson and trying. Like no one had a band open for him. He comes out in a red suit, and it was just like the man.
Yeah,
Like, and that was it. Like that's what I want to do. Even though you didn't think you'd be that, like it'll never be like that good. But
I was just looking at it the other day. He was like 21 when he did all that. I was like,
Yeah.
how is that even possible?
Yeah,
He was
it's-
so good.
it's ridiculous. Like 5 years ago, I bought Delirious in like the front of Safeway for $7.99. I mean, just so like Eddie wouldn't have to walk and see it there for
Right.
$7.99. Like, how dare someone sell it for $7.99?
Seriously.
Like,
Yeah, that's amazing.
like someone should have stole it. Like, how did it even get that far? Like, someone like,
It got
Yeah.
to the front counter. So
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it
just-
got to like where someone's like, oh, I'll make him $7.99. Like, like it got the value to that level. But he's other comics. I mean, Sam Kinison. But I saw Sam Kinison once, and he was amazing. And then I saw him the second time, and it was just like it wasn't good, like at all.
That's what I heard about him. Like he kind of just sort
Yeah,
of
he just
playing
kind of got
his own
in.
character,
He
I
got
guess.
into like just the rock and roll thing, and
That
now
first
just
record
and now
is so
just
funny.
knowing someone I could just see, whatever, it's Pittsburgh on a Sunday, and he was like, F it. Where maybe I've been places where it's like I'm gonna phone it in or whatever. If
Right.
people like it, they like it, and it's sad, but it happens.
Right. Yeah. After being
But-
on the road for like so long. Yeah.
Right now, as far as and then people that like I was never a sketch person. Like my favorite part of Saturday Night Live was the news, except for just like something crazy like Eddie Murphy did or like Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
Like, unless it was just so great, but just your run of the mill. Like I wasn't. Oh, Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh yeah. Just the classic like jokes.
Yeah. Letterman. That I would say Letterman. I'd say Letterman, Eddie Murphy, and Dennis Miller were like I'd say the big ones. And then who like and then when I became a comic, David Tell is number 1 through 30, I would say. And now I'm really good friends with Bill Burr. And Bill's got the belt right now, and he's very inspiring and all that and all that. But I mean, he's at another level. But I mean, when you especially working at the Punch and just seeing Dave every night for 7 shows in a row,
Wow. Yeah.
and just seeing like the different levels he would take, like Tuesday, Wednesday,
Right.
and then it's just genius.
He
And-
changes a lot of it too. Like
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, now he doesn't do those and then just having him like me was probably the biggest thing that happened in my career, because it kind of turned everything. It kind of gave me a career.
And you toured with him?
Yeah, I did. I opened for him at the club level in San Francisco a bunch, Sacramento a bunch, down here in LA a bunch, and then I did some of the big theater Insomniac shows.
Oh, awesome!
And I did. There was a the Comedy Central, right when Wills was getting into producing huge shows. I did a couple Lewis Black, David Tell, Mitch Hedberg shows.
Wow.
So I owe everything I owe a lot to Wills, but it was Attell who told Wills that I was great. Because Attell liked me, and that was kind of what started it all. So I kind of owe Dave everything.
That's awesome.
Between him and Wills and Molly, there's a few people out there I owe a bunch to.
I love your jokes too. Like they always crack
Oh,
me up.
thank you. Thank you.
One of the best delivery and writing styles. It's
thanks, man.
Your Powerball joke and the vibrator jokes.
Oh, cool.
Just
Thanks.
Kills me.
Thank you.
But so you moved to San Francisco specifically to do comedy, and would you doing Brainwash and the
the Brainwash started after I would have been doing it for a couple years. That's how old I'll tell you. Me and Al Magical won the first ever Brainwash comedy competition.
Oh, he went to my college, I think, too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He did. Yeah, me and Al, I think we're still great friends. I don't know. He's so busy now. I see him once a year, but we started together. Anyway, he came in first, and I came in third or fourth.
Oh, awesome.
I got a free cappuccino or something. It was he got $25 in dry cleaning, which he gave to someone because Al had a real job then and was making real money.
Yeah.
Not he had a real job and was making money. He had a really good job and was making money.
Yeah.
So he gave it to one of us who were working for Bill Graham for free beer, you know. But I either came in third or fourth. Because I made it to the second night. There was 3 nights. It was and somebody else who's kind of still doing it now. I forget. I'll slow down this if I try to think about it.
What was that one place that was really famous on Clement? It was
the Java Source did comedy 3 nights a week. It was old. And then they had Ireland's 32.
Ireland's I played Ireland
on Tuesdays. On Tuesday nights, you could do 7. You could do 5 sets within 4 or 5 blocks in Geary and Clement.
Oh wow!
And you and then that's always when the luggage store. Everybody started out at the luggage store. Is that still existing? The luggage store?
I don't remember that one.
That's Tony Sparks. Good people.
Tony Sparks, yeah.
I know he still exists, but all right, I hope he does.
Yeah,
he's a good dude. But he started everybody.
Wow.
I think everyone's first set was at by gender. I think everyone's first set was there, and then that was a big one. And then there was one called
that turned into Dirty Trick Saloon, but before that, it was very famous, Will Durst and Larry Brown and all those guys would play.
Oh yeah, that's before my time. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, I think that might have closed maybe then.
Okay, and then the other big open mic the show was called the One World Cafe.
One World Cafe. Okay.
And that was on McAllister and something or other. It was kind of in the lower. It was in the middle Haight, but not on Haight Street.
Okay.
It's around where
close to the park, maybe Panhandle.
Yeah, a little bit down it was across the Panhandle 3 blocks. It was 3 blocks from where I used to live, but not at that time. I used to have to the bus over there. But that was the show. That was if you could get Dan Lewis to look up from his notebook, you were doing good. Everyone that was a comic that wasn't working that weekend was on there on Friday night.
Wow.
That was the big one.
Yeah.
That was the big one. And that's where you did your best stuff, and that was fun. It was so much fun. It was so fun back then. When I started, man, there was before the .com boom and the rents changed, there was 60 to 70 good comics in that town.
That's incredible.
30 30 people that would work the Punchline and Cobb's and stuff as hosts and middles, and then 40 people that just needed a chance. And then
was one of your first big jumps was Punchline or Cobb's?
Yeah, well, it used to have to wait at the Punch for about a year.
Right, I heard about that.
every Sunday, and then you'd get a chance to go on. And if you did good, then you went first the next week.
Oh,
And then if you did good, then you're in.
okay.
So my first time ever, I went between Ngaio Belam and Robert Hawkins at like 11 o'clock on a Sunday. And I didn't care what I heard anything, but I heard, because I was working there, but they still weren't putting me on.
Right.
I heard Hutch, the old guy, the old gatekeeper, laugh, and he goes, "That was great." Then he put you on first, and if you did good again, then you were in the mix.
Nice.
And then that's how it started. And if you were good and good and good for a while, then Wills would be like, "Hey, who's doing good on Sundays?" And then you get a chance for like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and then that's basically how you got started.
So did you do the whole like 1 year?
Oh yeah. I did a long time.
How long was it before when you started doing open mics until you got on to like a?
Before I started hosting at the Punchline, about 3 years.
3 years.
But that's pretty much.
Really fast, I think.
But that's pretty much like what everybody did.
Okay.
That was pretty much the standard.
And you said you're doing like 5 spots a night, something like that.
I would say I did no less than 7 to 8 spots a week.
Okay. Wow.
Tuesdays were huge. Like Wednesdays were huge.
Yeah.
Like you had to get them in. Mondays were huge.
Right. And then the weekends were a little like
a little more
harder.
Yeah, a little bit more hard. Yeah, a little more harder.
So
but there's like the Marsh, Gary Cannon, who's still doing comedy now. Now he's opens for he does the crowd opening for Conan, who's had a great career. He ran a bunch of rooms, just a great dude.
What was his name again?
Gary Cannon.
Gary Cannon. Okay, I got
Yeah,
it.
he's kind of he should be known in the Bay. He is known in the Bay, but I mean people listening should know who he is. And then it's kind of started where Spiegelman ran a bunch of rooms. He's still around, right? And then and that's when the Mock. And then I was already kind of established when the Mock Cafe came in. So that was a place to do shows all the time then. So we, like me and Rob Cantrell and Spiegelman and a couple other people really kind of took over that, like did that like all the time.
Oh, man.
And then I just got big enough hosting and stuff where it's almost like if you host in San Francisco, then everyone else will let you feature pretty much around the country. And that's how, like people take you different places. And that's how you expand. So, and then once you start getting all kinds of club work everywhere, then you do the showcase and open mics less and less because you're like,
right.
But the Sunday showcase is still my favorite thing on earth up there. I mean, I used to drive home from Seattle after the late show Saturday
To get to the Sunday show.
Yeah.
What was the significance of the Sunday show? It's just like
it used to be just awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not anymore that anyone's still doing it, but I mean, it used to be like you'd sit. Like when I first started, I'm like, I didn't even want to go up. It was so good.
Wow.
Like that's like when Arj was opening.
Oh man, yeah.
It's like when Arj was an opener.
That's
crazy. When I started. Yeah.
Jeez, so it's just like huge like...
Well, just great comics.
Right.
And I know who no one knew, but they were just great comics. Dan Lewis, I think I said, like Tony Kameen, Robert Hawkins. Some Bubbles was always around, but there's just names that have, like Kevin Avery was now he's like whatever he writes on, whatever that show is on HBO that's real famous.
Was he up there? Your time?
He's a lot younger than me. I mean, maybe not age wise, but he's a whole different. The people I started with that are like still doing comedy are like Al Madrigal, Gary Cannon, Rob Cantrell, Andrew Norelli.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, maybe a couple other people. And then the next generation actually did probably better than my generation, except for like Al, is like Louis Katz and Jasper and Chris Tinkle's doing well, Ryan Stout. So like they saw all of us come up. And then before that was like Dan Lewis, Kamal, Kevin Avery, Connor's still up there. And a few other people. Tony Diamco is a funny cat.
That's so cool. There's like actually like classes. Of, like,
yeah. And now there's like
together.
10 different classes that I have no idea, which is kind of weird.
What's like the next? Like, do you just start going on tours with comics, or did you move to LA? Like,
I stayed around for probably a lot longer than I should have. only because I love San Francisco and I hate driving and I love drinking.
Yeah, that's the hard part with this town. Once I moved back, I was like, oh, you can't drink ever.
Yeah, exactly. So
the Muni was the best.
But I mean, I stayed where I was like featuring for all the time, and that's when Will still controlled it. So like I wasn't gonna headline weeks and stuff like not that Molly does, but like weeknights and or have my tour headline weekends or whatever. But Molly still gives me great shows all the time. So
that's awesome.
Knock on wood. But like now when I go up, I'll be up there at the Punch and then maybe headlining Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the next night. And she'll be like, "You want to stay next week?" It's the guy from Saturday Night Live was the best, the black dude, Tracy Morgan.
Oh,
like it always like Molly would always I'd fall into stuff like that's like Molly was always like my big sister and little sister. Like I took care of her because we worked together like forever together. Like I mean, she's the one that knew I loved Bill Burr, and then I was down here really struggling, and she's like, "I have some great news," and I'm like, "What's that?" She goes, "Who's opening for Bill Burr or middling or whatever for Bill Burr next January?" I'm like, "Me," and that's how me and Burr became great friends. So.
That's awesome. I always hear you guys' story, and I listen to your podcast too at Puck Off.
Oh, you like hockey?
I just started getting into.
Oh, right on. So who's your team? The Kings?
I guess so.
Yeah, we'll pick them. Yeah, you might as well have 2 Stanley Cups in your pocket.
I know. I'm too late to the game to choose the championship winners.
No, that's great.
Because I want to learn how to play it, so I'm trying.
Oh, right on. Yeah. I mean, you can. When we have
hockey.
Comics League, you have to come. Well, you have to come out. I haven't played since my triple hernia surgery. So,
wow.
But I didn't play when I got. My hernias got too bad last summer. I couldn't play anymore. So
I used to play all the time. I mean, your knowledge of hockey blows me. I always pause your podcast, look up everything, and learn a bunch.
Oh,
of
really?
Stuff. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's thank you.
Learned a bunch of players that I never known before. But
yeah, we get. It's just great. It's a fun podcast. If you know, if you're listening, I have me and Fraser Smith. It's called Puck Off. It's on the Sideshow Network, and a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, but we keep it pretty light.
No, it's great. I don't know that much about hockey, but I follow along perfectly, and it's so funny too. I love it.
Oh, cool.
Great, yeah.
Cool.
And
Thank you.
Fraser's so funny too.
Yeah, Fraser's I lucked into that. I mean, you seem like a really good guy. Not that you. You seem like I literally just met you.
Yeah.
But that's what it is in comedy. It's kind of like you just hang around good people, and usually good things happen.
That's awesome.
That's what I've been playing. That's what I've been hoping for.
Right.
I don't know. Not that many. I mean, I don't know. It's funny when people tell me hey, you've had a great career, and I don't even think I've had a career. I don't even know what I've had. I just kind of been going along, trying my best, and doing stuff.
Yeah.
And haven't had a real job since
that. I think is
Jimmy at the Punchline was like, "Yeah, I wondered when you were gonna quit." I'd show up. I'd work one Tuesday every in 3 months because I was on the road. And I'd be like, "Yeah,
But just getting to do stand up, to me, as a person who's just starting, I think that's the dream. You're already.
No, yeah. Well, it's just
a huge hero.
It was. Thank you. Well, it was. Most people want to say it was harder when I started. It was harder to get in at the Punchline. Okay, I'll get it.
Oh, yeah.
But it was much easier to have a career opening and middling and everything. Because
compared to nowadays.
Yeah, because nowadays airline tickets are so expensive.
Right. Yeah.
Gas is so expensive. And
do you feel I feel like there's even more comics now.
Yeah. Well, there is. Well, say before they would say if there's the improvs and other big chains have kind of wiped out a lot of ma and pop people that would book word of mouth guys.
Yeah.
Say a town had an improv and then a B room. The B room would book the word of mouth. Oh, yeah, you should book my buddy Joe Bartnick. He's really funny.
Right.
And then they don't pay quite as much, but the airlines are cheaper. Or you can drive. You can hook. It was just
get hooked up through each.
It was just kind of an easy. It was now it doesn't work, or at least I'm out of that system. I don't quite know if it still exists, but I think a lot of it doesn't exist, or they're not calling me. But I think a lot of those places are gone because even my agents no, this place is gone. This place is gone.
Oh yeah.
But I got I didn't get lazy, but I things were good, so I wasn't I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go and go to Little Rock, Arkansas on my 1 week off.
Right. Just 2 shows.
Yeah, so it's things disappear, but yeah, I think it is harder to start now, or to get a decent career off the ground. Because I've had a decent career, I think it's harder to I think it's harder to do that now.
Well, here goes nothing.
Well, no, it's just it's still awesome. It's still I'm giving you props.
That's
what
so
I'm
much
saying.
fun,
You know, it's like I think when I did it, I think it's a little bit easier. There's more opportunities for that. And now even just with the proliferation of like people on TV that aren't really comics, let's say, there's way more of those people taking your job.
Oh yeah.
Like people on Girl Code and Guy Code, or the 100 funniest sitcom pratfalls and all those people.
Yeah.
And some of them are really funny, but they're taking stand-up sets away.
Right. There's like no stand-up anymore on TV. Like Tonight Show, like Letterman, like there's like a comic maybe once every 2 weeks or once a week.
Well, the one that's killer. I know Access isn't ABC, but Live at Gotham on Access, I did that, and that's a really great showcase for people because you can swear, you can do what you want.
Nice.
The producers are so killer.
Yeah.
That they're just so relaxed. There's no, and it's like, I had a great experience. So, that's a good thing to.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I think there's a lot of, in podcasting is great for people, it really is. It gets your, so many people, I did the All In tour with some friends and me and like the great Paul Virzi.
Oh yeah.
We're doing it this year. Again, we did it all last year with Jason Lawhead too. But then Lawhead has stuff this year and whatever, things happen. But me and Paul are still doing it in different cities and stuff. And I was gonna say, when people come up, they listen to like my podcast or his podcast. It's like, it's
another. Like find your own audience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. How much on your podcast do you do any just you?
No, unfortunately, I haven't felt like those.
I think you should do that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you should take one and do that.
Okay. I used to listen to Bill Burr in college, Monday morning podcast, and then I'd go on the radio show we had in our college at midnight, so then I could swear and stuff, and I would just ramble like him for an hour.
Yeah.
I was totally copying him, but
well, no,
more people listen to me doing that than my actual when I would play the Beatles and Elvis on my radio.
Oh, right on. What college? You went to
USF.
Yeah.
KUSF.
Right.
Station, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. But that's but I think that's what you should do because I love the publicity of doing this with you and meeting you and having a good time, and I'm getting gifts. For those listening, this gentleman brought me a cigar and a bottle of Crown Royal. Just total class act. Comes in a suit. It's like
I had to do it.
No, this is awesome.
I hope it comes with the purple velvet bag. Too,
so it will. If not, we'll send it. If not, it'll be gone anyway. But use this. I'm having fun and have people on every now and then to break it up, but use this as your way to hone your people.
Thank you.
This is your chance to get people who are, hey, I like that guy. I want to listen to what he has to say.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely.
You know what I mean? Yeah. No, do that.
Thank you so much.
Because I have another podcast, Not Puck Off, in sensitivity training with me and Court and McCowan. He used to do Playboy. Used to be the Playboy Radio morning guy, and he's a great friend of mine, a great guy. And we have interviews half the time, and half the time it's just us. And I feel bad for Court in the sense that I think he should have just done. He likes hanging out with me, we have a good time, and we laugh about everything. But I think he should have a podcast that, if he's going to do all of it, that's him.
Yeah.
I think those are the people, Virzi gets so much out of being him.
Jeez, that guy cracks me up too.
Bill gets so much out of being Bill.
I love your guys' story too when you guys go to the Rose Bowl together, all of you, Jason Lawhead, Bill Burr.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best.
The stories are so funny.
Yeah, thank you. It's the best time.
You guys do that every year?
Yeah, it's the granddaddy of them all. Well, you know how it originally started was. Oh, okay. Well, I apologize if you're listening to this and you know me because I've told this on the million.
Okay,
No. You want to know? It's good for your listeners. So we get there and so we're like, yeah. We went to the UCLA Tennessee game. And it was 115 in August. We're like, we got to go to the real Rose Bowl. This game was amazing because UCLA, on probation. and like
That's right, yeah.
and like they came back and beat like number 5 Tennessee, like, and we almost left at halftime, but we're like, no, let's stick it out. Cut to, we show up the first time we went there with just like we went with just like his Prius and a hibachi and a case of beer and like 2 bottles of Crown and like Cuban cigars.
Nice.
And 2 steaks and like a bag of chips.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And we just got destroyed. Like we drank everything. And then it was Penn State USC, which has still been the best group of people that we've partied with. Like it's like Penn State was amazing people, and USC, the chicks are amazing. Like this guy had the full Trojan gear. He let me put on the Trojan gear.
God.
So and we were just
taking shots of Crown.
Yeah, we were just destroyed. We were destroyed. Like we didn't even bring utensils. We're eating like Fred Flintstone. Like we're putting butter in. Bill's, I was like, I can still see you putting butter on the steak with your finger.
Rex
Yeah. And so we.
Isn't that terrifying to go into a giant stadium with like 100,000 people just like borderline black?
This is how it becomes legend.
Okay.
So it's so crowded. Bill bought one of those those things where you wrap around your neck, like like a bus pass for crippled people, like, So we go in. So they just scanned my ticket. They didn't even see that I had like the butt end of my Cuban still in my mouth.
They just swiped the lanyard and go through.
So we're walking up the steps of the Rose Bowl, and right then, in the home of the brave, and right then, like 2 F-16s come down, and like it's like they get in the bowl practically. So, and we're like walking up. It was the most like hair on the back of your neck. Like it was the most amazing. Like whoa.
We're being attacked.
Yeah. So then we're just loving it. So then we go sit down, and and you watch college football, how you see like a stands where it's all one color, like 30,000 people. It was like that color for USC, and then just like me and Burr in like irregular clothes. And I wanted Penn State to win, but I was not going to get into a fight about Penn State, and I didn't care. Everyone at USC was so nice to me, like I could have cared less who won. But so I'm
red and gold, and 2 guys with like white shirts.
Yeah. So I'm just sitting there with my cigar in my mouth, just sitting there minding my own business. And if this lady just turns around, and if she had been like, "Can you please put that cigar out? I'm allergic," or "Hey, why are you smoking? There's no smoking," or anything remotely nice.
Yeah.
I just want to put it out. She turned around and she goes, "Are you allowed to swear on this?"
Yeah, totally.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know, because she goes, "What? Put that fucking cigar out, like you asshole, like that." Jeez. Like that to me, like that.
Yeah.
And I just looked at her and I go, "You need to lose 40 pounds before you talk to me that way, bitch."
What did she say to that? You just turned around.
She turned around. So then she like hits her husband. Her husband turns around, looks at me, wants no part of me, and then he's like, "Oh, you just fuck me, So then we're kind of jawing back a little bit, and then then he looks at Burr and starts messing with Burr.
Yeah.
So Bill was not going to back down.
No, yeah.
So they start arguing, and then they're like, we're calling the security. And then I'm thinking, oh my god, we just spent like $400. We're gonna get kicked out before like the opening kickoff. They were still doing like the coin toss. So then Penn State, like they lost like literally like 46-3 or something crazy.
Oh my god, yeah.
It was like the Matt Leinart, but not like the Super Bowl or whatever college champ Matt. It was like when he was a freshman. But they ran 3 plays. USC ran 3 plays, and Penn State stopped them. And I just remember going, nothing, like just screaming. And that's basically like all I really remember. And interestingly enough, in the 8 years I've gone in a row, I only remember like 5 plays.
That's amazing.
And 3 of them were those 3.
From the first.
Yeah, 3 of them were those 3.
That's so much
Yeah,
fun.
I always black out, and like I'm always asleep in the middle of the game, and I'm proud of it, because it's like, dude, I'm up. Like the one year we did, me and Bill and Jason and Andrew played the Will Turn on New Year's Eve.
And then you just went to the
Well, I stayed up till like 5, and then went at 6:30 to the game. This year, I headlined 2 shows at the Comedy Store in the Belly Room.
Oh, my God.
So I got home at like 4. Same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I've been drinking since 6. It's 4 in the afternoon. The game is the worst thing about the whole day.
The game is not even the objective.
No, and I always want to be like, hey, man, this year, like, I just don't want to go to the game. But I think Bill would just be disappointed at not like you're being a wuss level, but just thinking then it would be like, well, my friend really is just an alcoholic. And I don't want an intervention.
Let's
so
just sit on the couch. We can watch it at home.
yeah, that's like the net. Like I could be. Well, the thing is, because then we come out, we learned after year 1. I always bring a new thought every year. Like 1 year, I'm like, let's bring a table. And then we imported a lawhead who's like a chef, and it's like now it's like we always have our post game. We keep burgers and weenies for when everyone's leaving the parking lot.
Oh, nice.
No, we stay around and sober up and
Wait until everybody leaves, yeah.
yeah, and hang out till the bitter end.
It just gets better every year, then.
Yeah, it does.
You
It
learn
gets
from the mistakes.
better and better. And like what we got to do this year.
Right.
Parking spots key. Parking spots
Oh,
key.
yeah.
But you
I
learn
get lost sober at that parking, like, just round. There's no, like, goddamn signs or anything.
Well, that's like cut to the first year when we're just wasted. Well, we don't know that it's going to be dark when the game's over, and we park by number 8 Balloon. Well, the balloon, it's dark, you can't see the balloon. We walked around that place for like 2 hours. It was like, and I was like 5 times like, dude, let's just get a cab and come back tomorrow.
Yeah,
like
it'll be the one car.
Yeah. I live right up the hill. Like, dude, let's get out of here. It was like you're just walking around forever. It's next to the sand trap. Like every hole has a sand trap.
In the thing, hoping it'll honk back.
Yeah,
at you.
yeah.
Oh
It
my
was just
gosh.
crazy. But that's the first Rose Bowl story. That's the when you always hear Joe Bartnick Rose Bowl legend. that's.
So
There's been
cigar in mouth.
there's been incidents every year. None like that. There's always something fun.
Was there one this year too? Another incident?
Yeah, well, this year I actually, I guess I sat down when we got inside. I was like so wasted. I sat down, and they all went to their seats. And then I guess like I was surrounded by like 20 security guards, and I guess they used my ticket, and they went up and got Lawhead.
Oh my god!
And Lawhead had to come to like, yeah, look at, and Lawhead's like the famous line this year is, he's a teddy bear. Look at him.
Look at him.
He's not gonna hurt anybody.
Did it work?
Yeah, because I just remember a couple of times going like, well, then I'll just leave. But they weren't gonna let me just leave.
Right.
Like I'm like, well, then I'll just leave. Like you're not gonna arrest. Like they weren't even threatening to arrest me, but they're like, sir, you can't. I'm like, okay, well then I'll just go. Like then I'll just leave.
Get outta
Like
here.
yeah, like
And it's like an old stadium, so it's like 50 people like sitting next to each other.
oh yeah, it's like a number on the seat.
It's like it has to be like right, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's
Super inconvenient to get up and walk out of those.
right. Yeah, that's why like I never leave my seat. It's
Right.
just like, oh, by the time you get back up there, it's like
It's
nah.
impossible.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so funny.
But that's the legend. The best thing, probably the best thing that ever came out of it though, was I learned this trick. We learned from Oregon college girls. It's called it's a pickle thing, where you can take the worst cheap like $1.99 tequila and drink it and just shoot a shot of pickle juice afterwards.
Oh.
And it tastes delicious.
Really?
For like a month, I was bringing pickle juice everywhere I went.
It works? It
yeah,
totally
you got to
tastes
do
good?
it.
Oh my god! I had
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah, get some. Yeah, well, we can do it after the podcast.
All right.
I'm telling you, I'm sure I got pickles in there.
You were just actually. I was just listening to one of your podcasts. Somebody was talking about a fatty liver, and I just got that like last week through my.
Oh, you have a fatty liver?
Yeah, but I loved your reaction to it. You're like, that's not a thing. Like that's like coming in with a hangnail into like this plant. Like, totally doesn't count. Like it's a thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, someone quit drinking. They have a fatty. Yeah, I was told I had a fatty liver like for the last 3 years. I'm not gonna quit drink. You like
Right? Yeah.
I'm gonna quit. That's not a reason to
It's
quit
fun.
drink. Yeah, like that's like not a reason to quit drinking. You know, like I mean, like if there really isn't ever really a reason to quit drinking, but I can't think of a good one. But I don't know. I can't. My grandfather was, both my grandfathers were like told not to. And they both drank and everything.
It's like drink and then die early, or live in a 100% sober world.
Yeah. Well, my grandfather, my grandfather, who basically raised me when I was a kid, he used to have our dog Tammy watch out for my grandmother to see if she was coming down the steps, because he would smoke in the garage behind the car.
Yeah, and you should bark.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And then my grandfather Bartnick was a champion, because he used to tell everyone he was drinking. That was right when not Meisterbrow, whatever the fake beer is called.
Oh yeah.
Sharps. Sharps.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he used to tell everyone he was drinking that. And then one time they went down in his fridge and they were like, none of it was even opened. Like he was drinking real beer for years.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, like, I'm going down, I'm getting a Sharp. Anyone want one? Like, nah, that's okay. I'm not drinking that piss water. So, yeah.
Classic, yeah.
Yeah, drinking is, I just don't know. I mean, I don't need it to be funny. I just don't know what I'd do.
Right, yeah.
It'd be so boring.
I know. What do you do on Friday, Saturday?
Yeah, well, just, I mean, especially
watch a movie?
Especially between 9/11 and the invention of the vaporizer, I wouldn't bring my weed anywhere. I mean, I was doing comedy before 9/11, so it was always baggy in the balls. Yeah. Everybody's cool. But after that, it's just like you can't bring your weed on the plane, so I just have to drink myself to sleep everywhere.
Yeah, it's too much. Like,
yeah,
to fly completely sober. I want to ask you one more thing. I saw when I googled your name on IMDb, you were in What Dreams May Come with.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite movies, and I was just
really. It's arguably like the worst Robbie Williams movie of all time, really? Right? I heard it was called that. I mean, I've never seen the whole thing. I'm in the museum scenes.
Okay.
And my mother and my wife both said they saw my nose, because I purposely put my nose. I'm one of the guys carrying pictures.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now here's the trick. I've seen it. No, I should say my wife and my mother saw it on the big screen.
Uh-huh.
And they went to the theater. I saw it on like HBO and stuff, but the last time I tried to see it like on TBS or whatever, I didn't see it.
Ah,
so I don't know if they're like, oh, they say this movie was formatted or whatever. This movie was changed for. I don't know if I was one of the 3 seconds that got cut to make it under 2 hours or whatever. Yeah. But I totally.
That's awesome.
It's like the only time I'm not playing a drug dealer in a movie.
Moving pictures. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today.
Oh, thank you, kid. Thank you. It's more than it's awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
But take my advice and do one with just you shooting the shit.
I will. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.